Yesterday, I introduced you to how to add fractions with unlike denominators. Today, we're going to do 3 more example problems of that together, and they're the last 3 questions on page 2 of your notes. And then you're going to go ahead and practice doing this on your own by completing 4 problems on your own on the worksheet. And then you'll finish the last problems tomorrow to finish off the lesson. So let's go ahead and go through those 3 problems. And today I've taken the pictures out of it and just had the math numbers in front of you. If you need more help understanding how this works, again, you can rewatch yesterday's video that includes the pictures. But today we're just going to really review and focus on remembering those steps and practicing them. So we said there's 4 basic steps when we're trying to add fractions that have unlike denominators. Step 1 is to find the least common multiple of the denominator. So it's always the denominators that we're going to work with, a 5 and a 3, and we're going to list multiples of each one. So counting by 5s, 5, 10, 15. Counting by 3s, right, small, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So the smallest multiple that's in both lists is 15. And now step 2 means that we're going to take that 15 and make that the common denominator. So we're going to rewrite 1/5 as an equivalent fraction out of 15 and do the same thing for 1/3. So now that we have that common denominator, step 3 is to find the missing numerators. So 5 times what number gives me 15 times 3, and we'll multiply by 3 on the top as well, and get 3/15. On the bottom, 1/3, 3 times what gets me to 15? 3 times 5. On the top, I'll multiply by 5 as well, and that gives me 1 times 5 is 5. So now that I've done all that work, I found 2 fractions that are equal to our starting fractions that have the same denominator. And that allows me to do that easy step 4, which is just to add them. And again, it's the numerators only that I'm going to add. So 3 plus 5 is 8. And I'm going to keep 15 on the bottom, and my final answer is 8/15. Let's take a look at question number 7 in your notes. We're going to add together 2/5 plus 3/10. Step 1 is to find the least common multiple. So I'll list multiples of 5 and multiples of 10. And as we talked about yesterday, as I list those multiples for both numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20 for 5, 10, 20, 4, 10. Be on the lookout to make sure you're picking the smallest of those multiples. So in this case, though 20 is in both lists, the smallest one is actually 10. Don't forget that sometimes the larger of the 2 denominators is actually going to be your common multiple. Just a note, if you did happen to pick 20, if you made a mistake and didn't pick the least one, you would end up with the same correct answer, but you would have to do an added step of simplifying it at the end. And we'll look more at simplifying next week and adding that step in. So anyway, step 1, LCM is 10. We're going to go ahead and do step 2. We're going to use the LCM as the common denominator. So we're going to make them both equal to tenths. Step 3 is to find our missing numerators. So 5 times what gives me 10? That's times 2. So I'll multiply by 2 on the top as well. 2 times 2 is 4. On the bottom, it's already 3/10, so I don't have to do extra steps to it. It's really multiplying by 1, so I'm going to end up with the same thing. And then step 4 would be to go ahead and add those together. So 4/10 plus 3/10, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7/10. Here's question number 8. Find the LCM of these 2 denominators. So question number 8 is 2/4 plus 3/8. There we go. And we're going to find the LCM of the 2 denominators. So we're going to set 4 and 8 and list the multiples of this. And by the way, you're probably getting pretty good at finding these LCMs, so you might not have to write all of these out. And that's okay if you don't. If you can do it in your head, that's great. You can kind of just do it in your head and skip writing this step out. So multiples of 4 and multiples of 8. Again, 16 is common, but that's not the smallest. Be on the lookout to see sometimes the larger of the 2 denominators is the common denominator. So 8 will work for both of these. So step 2 is to take that 8 and make both of them equivalent to 8. And I'm going to rewrite both of these fractions out of 8. Step 3 is to find my missing numerators. 4 times what gives me 8? That would be times 2. multiply by 2 on the top, and I get 4. So 2/4 is equivalent to 4/8. And down below, this was already equal to 8, so it's really easy. I just rewrite it so that it's in the same column. And now step 4 is to go ahead and add those up. So 4/8 plus 3/8 gives me 7/8 as my final answer. So hopefully you're starting to feel a little more comfortable with these problems now that we've done a bunch of them together. I'm going to go ahead and assign you to work on the first 4 problems on this practice page on your own. And I mentioned the fact that you do not have to write that LCM out if you already know what it is. And a lot of these you can probably solve in your head. The directions though are to use the LCM to find your common denominator, then go ahead and find those missing numerators, add the fractions up. And you're going to work on this assignment today and tomorrow. So just do the first 4 today. You'll finish off the last 5 tomorrow. And I do want to point out too that with this riddle, not all the letters will be used. So if you get an answer and you can't find it down below, it doesn't automatically mean that it's wrong. You'll take this assignment and go ahead and turn it in to me, and that is your graded assignment for the week.